Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Wishing you a nice little early Friday evening over here from a bright and sunny Chicago. Early afternoon. My God, man, it's been a long day myself. It's been a really long week, actually. I feel like very little's happened with Bitcoin. It's been more or less sideways on the higher time frames, but it felt like a week that's actually dragged on quite a bit. So I do want to wish you well, though. I do want to wish you the best of the best. We got plenty to talk about today because today's daily digital close, I do believe, is going to have some pretty interesting implications with the price action coming up here, and we have a lot of interesting things to look at with the Bitcoin corollaries. So without further ado, wishing you the best of the best, the half of the happies, as we do say. And with that said, initiating the teleportation. I'll see you live scene, baby. Let's get deep and down and dirty into this magic and money right now. And Bitcoin on the daily right here on, what is this? This is Bitstamp. And you can see right here on the on the daily, as far as the greater picture goes, we're still doing the same thing. Still a sideways market, still holding within the confines of this symmetrical triangle. Support right around the cyan 89 exponential moving average, right around about 98.50 on a daily little closing basis. As long as we hold up above that, I don't call a resolution on this formation. And our overall resistance coming in right around about 12.3, 12.4. As long as we're below that, I don't really see resolution to the upside either. However, if we do have resolution, then we can say we have a measure move. In this case, if we break to the downside, I'd say that we have a measure move all the way down here, confluent with the 200 simple and blue 377 exponential moving average coming in right around low 7,000, like 7,300, give or take a few bucks. Although there likely would be bounced along the way, 8,800 right around here, and then we got 83, 8,400. Gap boys get vindicated there as well, and then we could talk about the full on measure move. By the same token, if we do break this to the upside above again 12.3 to 12.4, I'll be targeting to move towards about 15,000, we'll call it, and probably beyond. Things would start to look pretty damn rosy right there. Not like O'Donnell, but like a nice Bitcoin chart. Anyways, the big news is right now, or the thing that I'm intently watching right now, is the daily digital red 10 moving average, as you can see, as that comes in right around 10,350, or actually a little bit higher than that on, I guess that's Finex. Let's go back to Stamp. Yeah, the Stamp's going to be 10,350, and most exchanges can be around 10,350. As long as we close above this region right here, I would say that this likely does get continuation into the weekend up until the 10.7 to 10.8 region right here. And it starts to look pretty damn good. Maybe not pretty damn good, but it looks good for continuation, I'd say, if we do get that. By the same token, we have to go down to the lower time frames to kind of get the downside area. But as long as Bitcoin remains above, if Bitcoin were to violate our downside support, the one that we just broke out during this morning at around 10,250 to 10,300, which actually did take position on the retest down here, then I'd be looking for a move all the way back down to the 10,000 region and likely below. I mean, realistically, I don't think that we'd stop at 10,000. It's very likely that we come all the way down here to like 98.50, maybe even 97.50 all the way down here. So things would start to look a little bit more dire as far as the greater picture goes. This is going to put us in the danger zone once again. So like I said, resolution to the downside on the whole would either be a daily total close below the cyan 89 exponential moving average, or we could also look at this lower blue box territory right here, right around 94 to 9,500 as kind of like that last line of defense for the bulls. Although I'd imagine that you're probably going to get the daily 89 first, so it's a little bit more of a preliminary thing and does hold a little bit more weight. Going on to the very low time frames, like an hourly, what are we doing? Bitcoin kind of just going sideways, literally in the middle of this range, so I don't really have a strong opinion on it right here. In fact, we could even, well, no, let's not do that. But let's look at the 4-hour Stokes. I believe 4-hour Stokes are still up and at 'em. In fact, 4-hour Stokes still got plenty of room to go here. So I would say that we do have a little bit of momentum still built up. More preliminary resistance on the lower time frames, I should say, is around 10,550. Then we got the 3-hour Stokes right here. Coming still up as well, and I think 2-hour Stokes, are they up or down? They are up. What about hourly? Down. So we see 2, 3, and 4 up. Hourly is kind of going sideways to down. So probably a little bit of sideways here, more or less, depending upon your disposition. And I'll just be running off these major pivots on the market for now. Any sort of a move down below. Sorry, not any sort of a move, but a like a 4-hour or 2-hour total close below this region right here at about 10,250 to 10,300. Then yes, I'd be looking for the downside to be initiated. And if we do close a daily above above the red 10 simple, which is 10,350, then I would be looking for continuation, likely up to the daily 21 at the very least, which is around 10,600, and then probably even up above there, like I said, about 10,7, 10,8 region. And realistically, at that point, I'd look at this as a short-term bottoming formation. We'd probably work our way up to this blue box territory in the lower 11,000s, like 11.2 to 11.4 region. But first and foremost, taking it one step at a time. And to explain one step at a time type thinking, whenever I feel like the market's kind of in a massive sideways consolidation like this, it's best, I found it best to kind of just not interpret massive moves based off these regions as is. It's best to take it one step at a time, even if, things do look rosy. If we close above this region right here, I'd say the next, obvious area is going to be right around the 21. Then we could target a move towards, 10.8. Then we could target a move towards, about 11,000. Then 11.3, we'll call it right here. And you see that these all do match up with these fibs as well, which is, should naturally happen. Anyways, okay, let's go check out the Bitcoin corollaries though, because that's where things get a little bit interesting. So remember that CMEs and GBTC have both closed for the weekend. So we get to see their weekly doodle closes, while spot charts need to wait until Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time to set in their weekly doodle closes. So here's the daily on CMEs, and you can see that we actually got rejected by the red 10 symbol. We closed well below it, not just below the red 10 symbol, but below the yellow 21 as well. And I believe on the weekly, we actually did some kind of nasty here. We actually did close below. We certainly closed below the 10 symbol, but what about the 9 exponential? Just an even more lenient way of looking at this. We actually did close below it. It doesn't really look like it on this because it's like literally like equal to it. But I can tell you that looking at the numbers at the top left, the 9 exponential is at 10,427, and we closed 10,380. So that would be our first close below on this whole run to the upside. Here's where things get a little more nasty though, and we'll come back to this in a second. There's actually a very obvious trade staring us in the face coming up, but GBTC. We closed below the red 10 simple. We closed above the 9 exponential moving average. Which one do you go with? Well, CMEs hold a lot more weight to me when in doubt. CMEs do, I think CMEs do run the market, do drive the market. While it's weekend time, Bitcoin can do all sorts of crazy shit. But going back on over here to the greater structure of things, this does offer up a pretty obvious way of trading this next move. Because we just put in a doji dildo right here, which bear is going to interpret as a rejection of the red 10 simple. Bull is going to interpret as a doji dildo, which it signals, indecision and perhaps even reversal. But the way to trade it is the same no matter which side you're on. If we take out the top side of this doji dildo at 11,015 on CMEs, and just look at your spot charts as well for whatever it is on spot, then yes, I'd be looking for a resolution of the upside back up to really like 12,000 actually, on the more medium terms. If we do take out the low side of this guy at 97.65 on CMEs, which is actually probably going to be pretty similar to spot as well, then I'd be looking for resolution on this whole triangle to the downside, as that's going to imply that's going to imply the downside targets do get met. So I would keep an eye on that. I would keep a very intentful eye on that coming into next week. But for right now, CME is closed for the weekend, so I'd imagine that spot chart's going to be flying around as they typically do. Anyways, back on a spot. And let's go over the 2-day and 3-day for a second. So 2-day little time frame right here. We actually did lose the 21 yesterday, which is not good. Today we've actually just come back up and tested it thus far, and thus far that is exactly where we found our resistance. So not so good there either, in fact. But this one's kind of just looking like it's tightening up the range more or less. Wouldn't really expect a big move based off it. We do see 2-day Stokes to the downside. We do see 2-day RSI. I would say that this is more or less neutral. I don't really have I don't love it. I don't hate it. 2-day Jewel not telling us anything. What about 3-day though? 3 days where things get a little more interesting though. We do see 3-day Stokes to the downside, which are typically pretty good for direction. We also did lose the 21 yesterday on the 3-day. And while, as it stands right now, while we are back above it, we need to get back above it on a closing basis. So both an open and close below this would be, statistically speaking, not a good signal and really increase the chance that we actually do break this to the downside. But for right now, we haven't done that obviously, and it's we got another 2 days of trading in order for that to get confirmed or denied. So it's just gonna be a little bit of waiting coming into the weekend session. So make sure that my microphone's recording. Okay, good. What about the background noises? Okay, make sure that that's off. Great, awesome, good. And back on into it. So that's what I'd be looking at from here. There is some interest in me on not the RSI. RSI is neutral to just consolidation essentially. But the 3-day Jewel did give a sell signal on the 17th, which was on this red dildo right here, which to be fair was about an $1,100 move to the downside. So it did get an $1,100 move right there. But problem with that is typically when you get a 3-day signal on the Jewel, you expect a lot more. I mean, when we get 3-day signals on the Jewel, the last 3-day signal that we had to the buy side was coming off this region right here at 3,400, leading up all the way to 12,000. And the last 3-day sell signal that we had was coming off the high at 20,000, leading all the way down. Now, I'm not saying that Bitcoin's always going to have like a 70% retracement or a 4x pump based off it, but an $1,100 move isn't really like consistent with how it plays out. Then again, you can always make the excuse for it, but hey, I would be a little, it's certainly not a one-sided chart right now. I'd like to put it that way. So going back down into the lower time frames, I do believe that they're going to be the most relevant likely for the weekend, just because, well, that's kind of what we're doing. I'm sure that people are calling this head and shoulders already. It's not a head and shoulders. Head and shoulders is a reversal pattern, not a continuation pattern, which I think that this one's quite obvious. But hey, the way that you'd be looking at this is the same. If we break this support right here, which head and shoulders fools, or not head and shoulders amazing people are going to be calling this the neckline, then I'd still be looking for some downside after that. I'd be looking for a move all the way down here to 94. But would that match up with the mesh move? I'd imagine probably not, as it'd imply $1,000 move if we break that. If you're looking at that as the head and shoulders, again, we don't even have the right shoulders set in place right now. So way too early to be calling something like that. Anyways, going back on over here, let's go over and check out the 12-hour. 12-hour, just in the midst of all these major moving averages, showing us that all the resistances are currently where we're at right now. I don't really have a strong opinion on that. It's just telling us what we already know. Essentially, we're already getting this from the horizontals. So I think that's just a little bit of a cleaner way of looking at it. As far as the lower time frames go, though, we already did get that move back down to test around the 10.3 region to 10.250-ish region, which I was looking for after this morning's video. If we do come back down around there, I don't believe it would be interpreted as well by the market. In fact, looking at the hourly right now, it looks like we actually kind of do want to come back down and test this 10.330-ish region. But I'd still give it the benefit of the doubt as long as we're above this blue box territory, or whether you want to use the blue box territory or the blue 3/7 exponential moving average on the 4-hour delta time frame. Both are of equal significance to me. Whichever one gets broken first on a 4-hour closing, or maybe even a 2-hour closing if you want to be more aggressive with it, then yes, I'd consider that this is gonna come back down to the low side of the range, and you probably have a nice $400 trade, about 10.3 to 9.8, 9.9, about 3, 4, 5, maybe $500. If things get a little more aggressive, and of course, anytime that we come down in this region, that is the danger zone. So be aware, be very aware, my friends. Anyways, all jokes aside, things like I doubt that we actually see the move, so to speak, this weekend. I think that we probably see it once we get CMEs open back up for what's called for trading on Sunday. Anyways, I want to take a second to actually address this as well. This is not technical analysis related, but we had a live stream earlier today where we got somehow into the topic of talking about climate change, which, for myself, I'm not a political person. I'm obviously not a scientist. I'm not qualified to speak on climate change or anything like that. I haven't spent my life's energy learning that. I've spent my life's energy learning technical analysis. If you're looking for climate change advice, you've come to the wrong place. I can tell you that right now. You're speaking to an uninformed person. But what I can tell you is that I do stick by what I said about responsibility. What I'm for whatever reason, and I'll just kind of point out this person right here, who maybe I shouldn't put on blast, but this is a person who's actually been in the community for a long time, and I'm not trying to pick on him. He's probably not even going to listen to this. But more importantly, for anyone who is listening and if you got any of those vibes from me, this guy just basically said some things that just make me feel like, what the fuck? Did I say anything like that? He basically said that you don't believe in global warming like Trump. I never said that. I believe in global warming. I'm not doing anything. I'm not really doing it. I'm not going to the rainforest to fix it, though. I'll tell you that. And then says, at least some people care enough to create awareness. And what does Krown do? He sits in his hermit's cave and insults other people for talking about something real and happening. Nope, I'm just saying that people should take responsibility for what they want to do. All you're doing by reposting something on social media, you're actually not really raising awareness. Most people know about it. What you're doing is you're feeling good about yourself for telling other people what to do without actually taking any direct action yourself, which I really, really stand by that, because that's one of my strong life beliefs. If you want something to change, you have the direct responsibility to change it. And you can never tell me that you're not in a position to do something about it. You are. It's just any excuse that we make in this life to not go towards what we want to do, whether it be like fixing the world's climate, or like solving fucking starvation, or building schools, or whatever it is. You can take steps to do that. But more importantly, when it comes down to it, man, not only is it important to take responsibility, but it's also important to first sort yourself out first, and understand that sorting yourself out does help everything. It helps everything, really. The ripples of our actions go so fucking deep, we don't even understand. So what I'm saying is, first, if I just feel like when people do that, they're essentially just saying, hey, everyone else should feel bad. I'm doing my part by reposting this. It's like, Well, no, you could actually go do something directly, or you could also help inadvertently, like in a direct way, like let's say just even taking out just an extra piece of trash to the recycling bin. That's actually helping, so it doesn't fucking end up in on a beach in Philippines, man. It's like really awful if you've seen that. There's stuff that you can do in your personal life before you start to tell other people what to do. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Take care of yourself first and understand that that's going to benefit everyone. And then you can start to make other people feel bad for not doing what you want them to do, which is kind of a dickhead thing to say. He also, this person, again, I'm not saying that this person might have just wanted to get mad because they want to get mad. But for anyone else who listened to that stream, and if you got these vibes from me, I really do apologize because that's really not what I'm about. I certainly don't not believe in climate change. I'm not qualified to speak about it. You're not coming to the right person if you want that sort of talk. He also went on to say something else. Today's stream, probably one of the most racist, insensitive things you can say, Krown. Sitting on his high horse, judging other people for talking. You support the Finns, even though you admit, and I just checked, they were on the Nazi side. I really hope no one thinks that I support Nazis or anything like that. In fact, I was just highlighting the fact that I was speaking to a Finnish person on stream, directly addressing them in case if there's any sort of animosity around this, and I was essentially just directed towards them, saying, hey, I watched a couple of videos last night on YouTube about the Finnish war versus Russians in World War II, and they actually did something pretty damn cool, man. Finland's a really small country. They're a country of like less than 3 or 4 million people, and they took on Russia, and they literally fought Russia. They actually beat Russia in a straight up battle. It's fucking insane. Anyways, the thing is that to say something like that is so misguided, and it's actually kind of insulting, to be honest. But because Russia is also not friends of Jews or black people, if that's your true concern. If you actually look into the documentary, the Finns were forced to side with Hitler or with the Nazis, essentially. For anyone wondering, they were actually forced to, essentially, just because the Allies kind of ditched them, and Russia's attacking them, literally a country that's like billions of has unlimited people compared to them, and so they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. At the end of the day, man, if you want to believe that, that's okay. I just want to represent my beliefs correctly, so that anyone who's like reading a comment like that doesn't think like Krown supports the Nazis and is like trying to cause climate change. No, man, I'm saying the best way to help it is just take some responsibility. And hey, it would be the same thing as like saying I respect the 300 Spartans who stood against the Persians, right, during the Battle of Thermopylae. It's just an impressive thing, right? It's something to go back on. Anyways, back in the actual price action. God damn, man, talking about silly shit, man. I apologize. I probably shouldn't have mentioned anything about that. I apologize. But yeah. Anyways, okay, back into the price action. Let's go check out the other two top shitcoins. Let's go check out Mr. Beaterall first. Mr. Beaterall, we spoke about this in the live stream about Mr. Beaterall doing something interesting on Stamp here, and we are in the process of actually making a falling pizza. Now, while I'm not the biggest pattern trader, I do think that it's worth pointing this out. The structure is right, the volume signature is right, the shape is right, but like I said, when we're coming out of a market like this, I like to take things one step at a time. And again, let me just make sure that I'm actually recording. Okay, good. And by taking things one step at a time, while we actually do have a measure move, if we even break to the upside of this, which would imply a move back above about 203, 204, then technically we would have a measure move all the way back up to 280, which is pretty significant. But in taking things one step at a time, first and foremost, I'd say that we do have a resistance actually right here. Right around the 200 exponential moving average, right around 218 to 220. Then I'd be looking at a move right here at about 233. And then the move more like right here, right around 255. And then we can talk about the full move all the way to 280. So I take it one step at a time with that. But yeah, we actually do have a formation in place now. And we do see daily oscillators ticking back up. We see daily Stokes upside. We see daily RSI looking like it's actually caught wind of the exponential, rounding off there. Good. And we do see daily Jewel, not like a super, it's not a perfect buy signal, but it's kind of interesting. And also historical volatility percentile is extremely low right here. I mean, we're set to explode on this baby. So when when you're looking at a formation like this, and you're looking at historical volatility percentile being this low, I mean, whether you're bullish or bearish, we can look at this both ways. If you're bearish, you're looking at this support right here at about 185.5. If you're bullish, you're looking at this resistance right here, right around 202.5. Whichever one gets taken out first, it's probably going to be accompanied by an explosion on this baby, which is going to mean that we either head all the way down. If we break it to the downside, I'd be looking for a move all the way down to like maybe 150 and beyond. If we break it to the upside, well, we already spoke about that. So I'd say that it is interesting to me, and in momentum oscillators do point a little bit more to the upside than the downside here. But first things first, needs to take out this area, and then we'll discuss it. Let's go check out Mrs. Litecoin. How's she doing? 75.5 right now, and Mrs. Litecoin right around the same daily 10 simple as Bitcoin. Again, if we do close above this region, I'd be looking for a short-term move up to about 77.5. More obvious resistance right around 70. Let's just call it $80. Anywhere above $80, and I'd be looking for a move all the way up here towards about $88. Here's the thing, though, and this is also more true for Mr. Buterol. So we'll go back to him, but there is a death cross actually looming on the green 55 and the purple 200x benchmark moving average right here, which is concerning. So typically speaking, when you do get a cross like that, you will see price action rally into the cross, and that's to be expected. It's neither bullish nor bearish. What happens next, though, is bullish or bearish. If we take out the 200x benchmark moving average, very fucking bullish. If we get rejected anywhere along the way and head back down, and especially close below $200, like not right now obviously, but over the next week on like a weekly closing basis, that's gonna look pretty bad, like it wants to get played out. So I'd give it a little bit of time to play out right here. But we're going to see, we're likely to see some pretty big fireworks. So if you're looking at this, from the historical volatility percentile perspective, as this is set to explode, well, again, we actually do have a catalyst for the downside as well. I don't want to make it seem one-sided as I reach for my water, which I'm damn thirsty. Just 1 second, my friends. Oh, there we go. Alrighty, there we go. Okay. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? Let's go check out the Bitcoin dominance chart for a second. On cryptocap.com. Still holding off the 21. I do think that we're actually reaccumulating this region. Looks to me like we potentially are making... Wow, it's actually fucked around with my trend line multiple times now. I remember doing this in the morning. Setting this one up. Anyways, for whatever reason, it's TradingView having some weird things go on. I do think that we're kind of wedging ourselves into this as an ascending triangle. However, if we do break this trend line right here at about 70.5%, but this is the problem with it. If I go to a daily, it's a different number. If you go to the daily, it's 70.5%. Okay, all right, 70.5%. If we do break 70.5% to the downside, I'd be looking for this to come all the way back down to like 69.5. Short term, and then more medium term all the way down here towards about 69 even, and then probably bounce from that region. We are still in the confines of this as an ascending broadening wedge, which is typically a more bearishly resolved pattern. So longer term, likely do have to deal with that. But for right now, I want to pay special attention to the weekly, which the weekly is kind of holding around the white 200 simple moving average. And the longer that it holds here without breaking the 200x exponential moving average to the downside, I actually do consider that bullish. But we'd want to really see it like hold here for the next few weeks actually, and then really set up for for a big move. Typically, when you grind a moving average like that, it's actually considered okay. So yeah, of course, in the lower time frames, if we do break down, we'd have, we'd be looking at about 69.5, or I think it was about 69.5. Well, that actually is where the 200 exponential moving average is on the weekly. So we do have support in that region as well. So that means that we probably see altcoins rally in the meantime, I'd imagine. So let's go check out Mr. Cardano. I'm gonna imagine that Cardano is sideways, actually. Not really helpful here. Not really helpful here. I want to see a test of the weekly 10 simple on most of these guys. We're actually not really getting them. So this is a little bit concerning. We're at a pivot point on the altcoins as well, is what it looks like to me. We're either going to blast through to the upside and really just fucking put them in the dust, or we're actually going to see them rally back up. And I'd imagine that, if we see a rally, the next level that I'd be looking at for something like Cardano is probably right around like 560 to 550-ish region. And then we'll kind of come back and reassess. Also, I want to check out gold, of course. Gold closed the week really strong. In fact, all higher time frames very, very bullish here. Weekly gold, damn good. And I would say that that does bode well for Bitcoin, as these assets do seem to be quite correlated. Going on over here to our correlation coefficient, we can see that Bitcoin and gold are actually massively correlated right now. Let's go to a weekly. We do see the weekly is around like an 80 read, which is very, very high. So bullishness in gold does bode well for Bitcoin, I'd say. So that's, one more in the point of the bull's court, I suppose. Also, I think it's worth mentioning that with regards to the crypto fear and greed index, we did get all the way down to a 5 read yesterday, and today we've ticked all the way up to a 33, which, if you remember, that we did a correlation coefficient on this indicator with regards to price action. It was pretty damn correlated as well. So we are bouncing off that area as expected, and more importantly, just from like a logical standpoint, getting down to literally a 5, which is the lowest that we've ever seen on this ever, during what is mostly been a straight up market for the past 6-7 months, coming off these lows from December, January, is not what you'd expect. I mean, we literally got lower on that indicator than at any point in time during 2018, which we got pretty fucking low. We got all the way down to like a 9, I think, somewhere on on one of these, baby, or maybe it was like at the low at 3100. But we literally halved that on the on the crypto fear and greed index. Just yesterday, after, on this point right here, Bitcoin didn't even make a lower low. So people getting extremely fearful, maybe perhaps even irrationally fearful, on an area where more or less we just kind of tested support as far as the higher time frames go. So I would say that does that operate as, would that be a point in the bull's court? I would say yes. So it would be yes. But again, that is more of a secondary consideration with regards to this market. So, we did expect that looking at the crypto fear and greed index yesterday, and now we're kind of just seeing it follow through. So we, so we are seeing a lot of those things really actually, perpetuate into the charts. Again, for a lot of the times, I'll say those sorts of things, and it takes a little bit of time to actually follow through with it. Of course, all the Krown haters, they fucking love it when it takes like a day or two. But hey, man, it typically does happen. So without getting, saying anything more to it, a little bit of patience on this one, because realistically markets, they take time, right? Let's go check out the expected moves chart as well while we're here, and we do see expected moves getting this pretty well. We did test the bottom side of the first standard deviation right around $10,000 in the early morning hours, and we rallied off that. More importantly, we do have a bullish posture on this in the way that I kind of analyze it. We had a hammer dildo right here with follow through on the next resulting one, and more importantly, we caught wind of the bottom of the first standard deviation, which suggests that is our more preliminary more preliminary support, supporting price action. So good. So that would suggest that we do actually test the upside of this range. As of right now, we haven't really found the upside of the range, but this would suggest that our upside resistance is right around about 10.6. I do think that that's a little bit higher than where I would have it. I do think that if we go back to spot here, I'd be looking at actually about 10,550, we could call it, right around the 200 simple. Again, if you want to just kind of synthesize this whole video down on the lower time frames, anywhere below this blue box territory right here, bad. Anywhere above this blue box territory here, good. And you could even synthesize that down more and say it's the blue 3/7 cent exponential moving average to the downside, or the white 200 cent moving average to the upside. There you go. So yeah. Okay, I think we beat all of those horses to death, just fucking killing all these horses. Don't worry about the rainfall, or don't worry about the rainforest. Worry about these goddamn horses being beat to death by Krown. Just talking in circles right now. Did I talk about everything that I want to speak about? Yeah, we did that. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good there, actually. As far as that goes, I think I forgot to mention this. The daily dildo close is also very important here, just because we do see that daily Stokes look like they want to cross the upside, and they will confirm to the upside if we do close here or higher by end of day, which from this time is going to be 23 minutes. If we also see that, do we see the daily? No, we don't. I was going to say maybe we also see the daily take out the exponential. We do not. That would look a lot better to me. But we also do see the daily RSI rallying off the support right here at about the 41 read, which I do kind of like, rejecting the bearish control zone essentially. So putting all these puzzle pieces together, I do think that the upside has a little bit more potential in the lower time frames. But remember, my opinion is worthless when it comes to that. If we take out this area right here, I'll be happy to. I probably won't short, but I'll probably short some options. Maybe do something like that. Short like the 10,500 strike. Those are going to have some good premium on them, and then position for a downside move. If we take out this guy to the upside, I'll be happy to buy some spot or add on to my spot buys. With regards to that, I think I think we can wrap it up from there. Again, blue box is here. Break this blue box, and then I'm targeting move down towards 99 to 98.50ish, or sorry, 98.50, or about 90. What is this? 98.50 to about 97.50. That's kind of the danger zone. Back into the danger zone, just because it puts us even closer to this blue box territory, which matters a lot. And then, of course, any sort of a daily total close below the 89 exponential moving average, which is currently at around 98.50, would be interpreted bad by me. I'd probably call a resolution. I would call a resolution on this formation to the downside if that were to happen. Or if we take out this blue box territory towards the downside, whichever one happens first, I'd be happy to go with. But for right now, Bitcoin, looking like he's regained this area thus far. Pray for Bitcoin. Pray for Bull Jesus. They have your best interests in hand right now. I think that's a good. Well, let's just talk about the outside. Why not? As long as if Bitcoin can close above the red 10 simple today, I do think that we'll test at the very least around the yellow 21 exponential moving average, and then at that point, we should take it one step at a time, but realistically, probably work our way up to the top side of this. The smaller range here, maybe around the 618, right around 10.8 region would be a legitimate target. Then we'll come back and reassess it. But if that area gets taken out to the upside, which we really start to look like a bottoming formation here, then I'd be looking for a move all the way up here towards 11.2 to 11.4. But remember, just based off the 2-day and 3-day, I do think that it's a little bit less likely that we even see, I think it's less likely that we even see a move just based off these guys. They kind of look like they want to hold here for the time being and just frustrate people more. So with that said, I think this is a good time to kind of wrap this bitch up. I'll be back on tomorrow with some more video action. I'll probably do a live stream on Twitch for that one. I didn't do one today just because I didn't want to set up everything. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I guess I should probably also just kind of wrap up the talk from earlier. Yeah, just want to make sure that I was heard clearly on that. If you still think that I'm a Nazi after that explanation, then I guess we'll just leave it at that. I guess we'll just agree to disagree. It's kind of weird to be a Nazi when your dad's Jewish, but fair enough, man. Although I don't really identify with the religion or anything like that, man. But yeah, man. If those comments really did come off as insensitive or just assholeish. If you really did truly feel that way, I do apologize about that. It's not intended, but I also hope that I'm clearly heard, and perhaps that was just one person. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Perhaps see you tomorrow. If not, I do want to wish you well. Take care and see you soon.